I feel wonderful. I feel at peace in this moment. I feel connected and in alignment. And this has truly just been a day that continues to get better. This weekend in particular, it's just a lot of creative projects that are coming and brewing within my space, and the opportunity to collaborate with other artists as well as working on my own creative endeavors. And that's been a very amazing space to tap back into, especially just coming off of the pandemic as well. I felt like the pandemic silenced me a lot of it. And this is the year that I feel like I'm coming back. It feels good. This year, I'll be producing a short film with a wonderful writer who will be making her directorial debut. So I'm excited about that. I also have a script that I completed, and I'm going to get the opportunity to take a short snippet of that script and put it on stage this summer. So I'm super excited about that too. And also just my own different versions of my creative journey. I recently just got a camera, and I've been enjoying just learning more about how to use it and how to use it in terms of telling stories on my own, like the little things that I can do that I can express myself through. So the learning journey of what art looks like for me is always transforming. I feel like I'm always like, what can I learn? What new art form can I adopt and make into my own story, and where I can tell my own narratives, and what is that going to look like? Because I love marrying different artistic forms, whether it's through film, theater, music, and picking up this camera really has allowed it to be the medium of all of those things to kind of come together. So I'm super excited. Started off with music. My band, we're called Lenyx Rose and the Storytellers. The root of that experience is telling stories through a theatrical lens. And that is something that I just have always desired to carry. Like, even in our shows, we have a big storybook, which is right behind me, where we, share these stories on stage, and it's very dramatic and musical and spoken word and all of these different things. And so I just really love that I was able to build that foundation. And now as I continue into different artistic forms, that's still something that I'm bringing in. Even the short film that I did, Love Boom Bap, it was an amazing experience, and I was happy to bring it to life. And what was beautiful about that experience was the different artistic forms in there, from dance and spoken word and the music that I've written, and all of those things I want, again, to just marry and marinate together to tell a story in an unconventional way. And so my pillars are music, theater, and film. So I'll always carry that into whatever it is that I'm doing. Even the script that I've written, I desire for the music to really drive this story in a way that hasn't been heard before. And so I will always carry those foundations into whatever the project that I'm doing, and making sure that I'm not leaving any art behind, any of the art that I love behind, because I love to sing, and that is like the core of me. A lot of people know me for that. So I want to make sure that I'm bringing in my music in any way that I go. It's coming with me. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Just know that it's coming. It's learning how to balance all of the things, especially just with my schedule right now, where a lot of my time is being taken up. So it's really trying to find the time to do all of the things without feeling overwhelmed. Writing a script was intimidating at first, but for me, once I understand the outline of how things are supposed to go, I'm able to follow that and, just kind of dive in. I'm very much a dive in type of person. So a lot of, the successes in my career are because I've just tried things out for the first time and see where it goes. And it ends up, thankfully, going in a positive direction. So, writing a script and figuring out how to do all of the things is just a part of that journey that I'm willing to take. And I'm still very much a student. I feel like my life has just started. I feel like I'm constantly starting over. And I like that because it keeps things fresh. But in the starting over, I'm also still building upon the bricks that I've already laid out for myself. And so it's just more so starting over at a new layer or a new level of creation. Well, I'm originally from Trinidad, and I love my people dearly. I think we are beautiful. I think we are extremely creative, and I desire to immerse myself within a community of Trinidadians and, the West Indian diaspora for us to come together and make some beautiful art, We'll see where that journey leads because, there are a few story ideas and scripts that I'm currently writing where we are represented. So I want to be more in community of my people and have our stories out there. That's what I desire. That's what this next chapter of my life I hope to dedicate to. So if you are out there, let's connect. Let us continue to connect. And I'm also in the perfect place because I'm right in the northeast region of the United States. So New York is a huge West Indian hub and a huge creative community. So I'm looking forward to connecting with more West Indian people to bring our stories on stage and on screen. I currently work at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, also known as the Met. It has had a long run. It is about 150 years, or I think we actually just made 152 years of beautiful art all around the world. And what I get to do with my team is service several departments throughout the museum when coming to production needs. And I get to collaborate with different departments and different artists in terms of what it is that they desire to make happen, whether it's from, our team, whether it's from a lecture or a live production, and we bring it to life, essentially. So, production-wise. So that has been a ride, for sure. I love that I get to work in a beautiful space. I love that I can walk out of my office and see amazing art. My first few months working there, I'm still learning. There's still so many places that I'm still getting to know throughout the museum space because it's huge and it's easy to get lost, but that's also the best part of it as well. It for sure comes with its challenges, just being, a Black woman in a predominantly white space and, how art is being presented. There are challenges in terms of figuring out where I sit and how I can contribute to a space that still feels authentic to me, that wasn't necessarily built for me. So that in itself is a journey that I'm currently on internally, and it comes with its own structure of doing things and, doing my best to make sure that I'm in alignment with myself and in alignment with the work that it is that I want to do, and learning as I go, because I'm learning so much. I'm literally stretching myself internally to make sure that I'm sharpening my tools and making sure that I can still do the work that I feel represents me and my vision for my artistic self. I know a long time ago, a couple of years ago, I think maybe in 2015, I told myself that I wasn't going to work a job if it had nothing to do with music, theater, or film. And I stuck to that. I wanted to make sure that I did a job that was in alignment with my artistic vision. And though I'm working behind the scenes on a lot of these projects at the Met, I think that's also just building myself up in that way as well, that can also marry the things that I do outside of the Met. So it's an amazing place in terms of the people that are there. It really is about just finding your tribe, because again, it's huge. It's huge. There are a lot of people that work at the Met. And so just finding your tribe. And I love my team. We have very similar visions as to where it is that we want to go within that space. So it's been a journey. I made it through a year and I've learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to what the next year brings. I show up authentically as myself all the time. Even within that space, I am very connected to my spiritual upbringing, from just growing up with a father who is a pastor and a mother who is very spiritual as well in Trinidad. So I'm very much connected to my spiritual roots, and I don't hide that even in spaces like the Met. I'm very, all of my coworkers, like, we have very in-depth conversations about spirit. We have in-depth conversations about self and all of these different things. So I feel like I lead with spirit, and that's something that I don't think is a surprise, but maybe it is. But it's something that I never hide, so regardless to the space that I am in, I want to make sure that my ancestors are in the room as well, and they know that they are in the room, and I walk with some heavy hitters, so I don't hide much of that. Consistency. That's the word that's coming up for me this year. Like, this year, I want to be consistent in the things that I do, and I'm still trying to figure out a way for that to work for me that's authentic. I don't ever want to put art out there for the gram if it doesn't feel like it's authentic to me. And sometimes art just needs to breathe, and I feel like I've been just giving it space to do that for quite some time, and I don't ever want to feel rushed. But then there's also that challenge of social media, and you got to like put yourself out there and you got to play the game. I hate playing the game. I'm not a fan of that. And if I do play the game, I want to make sure that it feels right with my spirit, and it feels authentic to do, instead of me doing it for someone else. I want to make sure that everything that I'm doing is for me. So what does consistency look like in an authentic way for me? Also, I feel like I'm shedding skin as well. Like, there's like this new evolution and this new version of womanhood and adulting that I'm experiencing, and I feel like a shapeshifter. Like, I feel like I'm shifting into like a new version of myself, that I'm not quite sure what her identity is just yet. So I'm just I am in the midst of literally shedding skin and putting on a new form, and I'm in the middle of that right now. So it feels like a baby learning how to walk, and I'm okay with that, because again, like, I love starting from scratch, and I'm not starting from scratch in terms of art, but with new concepts, started from scratch with the new tools that I've gathered throughout the years, or the tool that I just learned yesterday, so just starting from scratch, from the building on the foundations that I've been cementing in my life. So learning who I am, the new version of me, I wouldn't say is a challenge, but it's a new beginning. It feels like a push and pull. It's like this tension of like, you're here and then you're not here, and it's like you're seeing yourself, but you're not in your body sometimes. Like, it sometimes feel like it often feels for me like what am I doing? And I feel like I'm in this motion, but I'm really grateful for the support of my community, because they remind me of, when I forget, they remind me who I am. And I think it's very important to just have folks that can ground you as you are in the midst of your shift, because when you're in the midst of your shift, you're not always fully cemented on the ground. You're kind of, sometimes it feels like you're floating in air, or like you're in the galaxy and you're going backwards this way. Like you're just falling in the abyss. And sometimes I have those moments less now, because I know who I am and I know where the direction I want to head. A part of me feeling a little bit more grounded even when I'm uncertain is because I've given up control. I'm doing the best I can with what I got, and I'm leaving it to a higher power to do the rest. So once I know that I'm showing up in the ways that I'm supposed to show up for me and for the people that I love and for a greater community, I'm gonna let the universe, I'm gonna let God handle all of that, the rest of that. And so I don't feel as in the abyss as I used to maybe just 2 years ago, because I had a conversation with God and I said, you show me how good it gets. And so you show me what you desire from my life, and I'll show up in the best ways that I know how to with the tools that I have currently. So now it feels like a partnership versus just what I want in life, because when you just focus on what you want in life and you don't get it right away, then you're like frustrated. But when you realize that you're actually in a partnership with the universe, then you realize that it's not all on you. So you can kind of release yourself from that pressure and understand that it will happen in the time that it's supposed to. So I will show up as myself, and the universe will meet me halfway, and it will go from there. And it has been doing a wonderful job. I'm very grateful for the relationship that I have with the universe, and God. So it doesn't feel as shaky as it did before in my life. Not to say that there won't be shaky moments, but I just cry it out. I have to panic first. Sometimes I just gotta panic first a little bit, and then I come to the grounding space of, it is going to be okay. Leap and the net will appear is a quote from Julia Cameron, the author of The Artist Way. And I remember reading that book, and that quote jumped at me, and I've carried that ever since I read it. It's been my motto, seriously, even with my artistic choices or career choices. Again, like I've literally done things. I've been asked to, do major things and maybe not have as much knowledge of what it is that I'm tasked to do, but I will take on that task and learn all of the things that I have to learn and just leap into it and do it in excellence. And it has been a great journey, because my entire career, I feel like I've been just taking risk, doing things for the first time. A lot of the time, just doing things for the first time and diving in and hoping that there's a net, and there was always a net to catch me, always. So I'm grateful for the liberties that I've taken, and I want to take bigger risk. My life right now is abundant, truly. I don't feel a lack of love. I don't feel a lack of community. I don't feel a lack of anything, truly, because I am happy with the things that I surround myself with, and it keeps on growing. My community keeps on growing. The love that I have for myself and the love that I have for others keeps on growing, and it gets deeper. My artistic expression keeps on developing, and there's just always more. There's always more that is happening. And so currently I'm in a space, and I hope to feel this way for a long time, of abundance. Something that has also carried me through in terms of a storyteller and an artist is to continue to expand in this artistic world, continue to be a student and learn new things and pick up new art forms, because you never know if you're good at something unless you try it, So that has been the joy of this artistic journey for me. When I was younger, I thought I only wanted to sing. And now I feel like I've now each artistic thing that I'm interested in feels like I'm capturing them in a Pokeball. And I'm just like, today I choose you, So I hope that you all pick up just a couple of Pokeballs that you can then marry your artistic vision for yourself and your internal self as well. I think nurturing your internal spirit, how I do that is, I acknowledge my ancestors and I speak to them often, I'm very much someone that wants to make sure that I'm continuously tapped in so that I can hear what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. So the spirit for me is art, and to nurture that space in terms of that creative chakra, that sacral chakra, which for the women is within our wombs, and making sure that womb health is a part of your journey as well, because that is the source of all creation. So once you are connected in that way, which is really a new lesson for me, connecting to my womb chakra and making sure that the source of my creation is cleansed, so that all of the things that flow through me creatively has a safe channel to flow through, is also extremely important. So I hope that we're taking care of ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, to make a better world out here. Because it's a lot going on, but as long as we have each other, we're gonna be okay. I would like to remind myself that everything I desire, or everything you desire, is accessible to you. That is an affirmation that came to me in a dream, and I hope to never forget that everything that I desire in this world is accessible to me.